For thousands of years, the Aleut people have called this land home, an isolated village surrounded by ocean and volcanic mountains that has created a turbulent and dangerous situation. Days like this don't come around too often here. While the days are long, summers in this fishing village tucked away in the heart of the Aleutians are short. For some, it's a time to play, while others are busy at work.
It's become more and more of a desperate situation.
Bonita Babcock has worked as an EMT and a community health aide at the local clinic for 10 years.
I love people. I love to be able to help people.
But Babcock can't always help. Her love has turned to desperation.
All we're asking for is safe access.
King Cove officials say over the past 30 years, at least 19 lives have been lost.
8 out of 10 times they can't make it in here.
They point to the lack of an access road as the reason, pushing for a road that would connect King Cove, Cold Bay, and the only all-weather airport in the area.
It's sickening that the only thing standing between my patient and getting them on a medevac to Anchorage is this little piece of connective road.
Babcock says in the winter, winds can reach up to 100 miles per hour, creating whiteout conditions. Weather so bad that they say the Coast Guard sometimes refuses to fly. A situation that Walter Wilson says almost cost him and his baby their lives earlier this year.
I was just wondering if we were going to make it or not because I couldn't see nothing and it was blowing. There's hardly anything to see with all the snow blowing around.
Wilson was crushed by a 600-pound crab pot while fishing for cod, dislocating both of his legs and fracturing one of them. While waiting to be medevaced to Anchorage, his 6-week-old son Wyatt stopped breathing. Despite their dire situation, help couldn't come for hours.
It took me about 12 hours because I got in that night about 6 or 7 o'clock that night or something, and it took me until 9 o'clock the next morning to finally make it out after he was medevaced out the first flight.
Recognizing the problem decades ago, it wasn't until 2008 when King Cove began building a gravel road that winds along the coastline, stretching from the airstrip to the edge of the Eisenbeck National Wildlife Refuge. That project was completed in 2013. The original plan to utilize a $9 million hovercraft to transport patients to Cold Bay didn't work because of high winds and seas.
It's a good road. It's a good traveling road. It's gravel. It's one lane with the pullouts, so people are able to get 2 vehicles by each other if you need to.
After about an hour of driving along this 17-mile road, we have finally reached the point of contention. The place where the road ends and the debate between human life and wildlife begins. A debate that longtime King Cove resident Della Trumbull finds insulting, as Secretary of the Interior Sally Jewell recently ruled in favor of protecting the wildlife refuge, denying King Cove the road they are desperate to complete.
In my mind, there's no reason we should be having this discussion. People's lives should be more important than the birds.
But just across the lagoon, Gary Ferguson of Cold Bay sees things a little differently.
All communities within the state of Alaska are faced with the same issue. Most of them, the only access is by air. With King Cove right now, currently, they have 2. It doesn't make much sense to develop a third, especially with that area that's a unique, one-of-a-kind area.
Gary says he wouldn't object to the road if there weren't any other viable options, saying King Cove residents have a hidden agenda.
The real reason is they want a place to drive their vehicles in the evening, just like we do here in Cold Bay.
After more than 35 years, controversy continues to rage on.
I feel frustration. It's like you can reach out and touch Cold Bay.
A lifeline that for the time being remains just out of reach. Following the Department of Interior's rejection of the road, the King Cove residents and the state of Alaska have filed a lawsuit to reverse that decision. In King Cove, Blake Essig, Channel 2 News.